vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. When can you listen to the Sister Speak Show? At 7 p.m. Central. Tune in on the go or at your residential. Spreaker, YouTube, Alexa, or SoundCloud. Interviewing special guests that have been blessed and will bless us. Through spoken word and awareness, knowledge is felt if you gain and share this. In the streets, in the burbs, anywhere that we can be heard. It's about that time to elevate your mind. Feel the beat, Sister Speak. Come and eat a spiritual treat. It's about that time to stimulate your mind. Feel the beat, Sister Speak. Come and eat a spiritual treat.
Welcome, 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 my brothers and my sisters, to the Culture Climate on the Sister Speak Show. I am so excited about tonight's show. Excuse me, this afternoon show. It's 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are recording live from Dallas County, Texas, Cedar Hill, Texas, to be exact. I am Ayana, the hostess, producer, and creator of the Sister Speak Show. Kingdom Child Recordings, executive producer of the Sister Speak Show. Brothers and sisters, tonight, our special guest is a traveler. She is a professional educator, and she is a natural hair neester. She was on the Sister Speak Show August 6th. And guess what? She's back. That's right, brothers and sisters, my special guest, Sister Queen, Stacey Morgan. And since she will be on this evening, I felt that it would be perfect to just get right into the show. So what we are going to do this evening is we're going to listen to a clip about traveling. Well, what about traveling are we going to listen to? What we're going to listen to are the 6 dangerous places that you should not travel. And I'm getting ready to pull this up. So how is your day going? I hope it's going well so far. So here we go. Actually, it's the 10 most dangerous places tourists should never visit. Let's go. And you know what, brothers and sisters? This isn't to scare you. This is just to aware you. Okay? So here we go. We're going to wait for this ad. You know how the ads go. I'm taking this off of the taco. Here we go. Wait a minute. Excuse me. How dare, now look what, see, I'm trying to get this together for you all so I can educate you. And here we go with an issue. Okay.
It's nothing like catching the wanderlust
Here we go.
bug and being able to travel the world on a whim. Though it can be addicting, travel to some places just isn't the best idea. From outrageous laws to shark-infested waters, it's probably best to steer clear of these 10 most dangerous places tourists should never visit. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Known as one of the top 20 surf spots in the world, according to National Geographic, surfers and tourists should beware. Though the town boasts 300 surfable days a year, the beach is crawling with sharks. There are more sharks per square mile than anywhere else on the planet. New Smyrna Beach has been aptly named Shark Capital of the World, and there have been 267 shark attacks since 1882. The attacks are usually not fatal, and many of the victims have been able to drive themselves to the hospital. Cultutre Trail, New Guinea. The Cultutre Trail in New Guinea hasn't been a top hiking destination for long. In the 1940s, it was the site for a World War II battle against Australia and Japan, and now has become a pilgrimage destination for Australians. Not only do hikers have to face steep clay, slippery routes, and surprise waterfalls, but the real danger comes from the malaria-infected mosquitoes. The whole hike takes about 11 days, and hikers are encouraged to have malaria medications, as well as wearing light but long-sleeved clothes. It has also been reported that many of the deaths since its growing popularity have been from dehydration, which may actually lead people to overhydrate, which is equally as dangerous. Adelaide River, Australia. The Adelaide River, just outside Darwin, Australia, is a crocodile viewing tourist hotspot. The Salt River is home to boat cruises that let tourists get up close and personal with these prehistoric monsters. In 2013, the locals noticed a great number of attacks and believed that the tours have taught the crocs to link humans to food. One terrifying crocodile, which got the nickname Michael Jackson because of his unusual white head and black body, terrorized the river and was responsible for the death of a local fisherman. The crocodile was found and killed, but the river's reputation is something tourists should consider with caution. Annick Garden, England. If you're visiting England and feel the need to step foot in the world's deadliest garden, then look no further than Annex Poison Garden. On the gate before you enter the garden sits a sign that says, "These plants will kill you." If that isn't enough to deter a danger seeker, then the warnings to not touch or smell any of the plants inside should. The fumes from over 100 poisonous plants may be so overwhelming that they make tourists faint. Mont Blanc, France. Mont Blanc in France has the highest mountain-related fatalities in Europe. Though it's not certain, experts have guessed the mountain claims about 100 lives per year. Though the mountain is the tallest in Europe, it isn't necessarily the hardest climb, and this could be the reason so many lives are claimed. The summit is marketed as an easy climb, which encourages inexperienced climbers to dare attempt the trek. The mountain has natural risks of ice, falls, avalanches, and medical complications, but it's the overpopulated routes that make this mountain so deadly. Huashan Plank Walk, China. Though it's not the highest peak in the Huashan Mountains located in China, this plank walk hike is known to be the deadliest in the world. The hike features walking on rickety planks barely attached to the side of the mountain. The hiker must also hook and unhook themselves throughout the hike, and there are no handrails for protection. Huashan Plank Walk also has two-way traffic throughout the day, and sometimes hikers will have to share narrow foot space while passing each other. With heights reaching over 7,000 feet, remember to not look down. Acapulco, Mexico. It's not the natural elements or animals that will get you in Acapulco, Mexico. It's the crime rate that should have you wary. Though the town has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, crime has caused tourism to take a hit. If tourists dare to take the venture to Acapulco, many carry personal weapons to ward off would-be attackers. In 2015, the city saw 1,600 murders, and by mid-July 2016, the number of murders reached nearly 700. The area is a war zone between law enforcement and drug cartels, so it's best to just consider safer beach destinations. Madidi National Park, Bolivia. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Well, more like jaguars, deadly snakes, and bears. These are all dangers of the Madidi National Park in Bolivia. In this park, humans are at the bottom of the food chain. Madidi harbors flesh-bearing botfly maggots, wild pigs that have been known to rip humans to shreds, and parasitic worms that infest human stomachs. If the animals aren't terrifying enough, there are flesh-eating fungi to add to the list. Pyongyang, North Korea. North Korea is already at the top of the list for dangerous spots for tourists just because of how unpredictable the government can be. There are very strict laws for North Korean citizens, and tourists are also expected to follow them or face being locked up or punished. In 2016, a student was caught stealing a propaganda poster and was detained by North Korean authorities while trying to depart the country. The student was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor for his crime, and the U.S. Embassy has yet to convince North Korea to bring the student home. Death Road, Bolivia. Known as the most dangerous road in the world, youngest road in Bolivia, better known as Death Road, claims 300 lives a year. With heights reaching up to 15,000 feet above sea level and no guardrails, many pedestrians, bikers, and cars have been swept off the cliff's edge. The cliffs are also known to have sudden avalanches, which can cause the narrow roads and travelers to plummet to their deaths. Crosses and altars line the side of the road to remind travelers of the deadly outcomes and to proceed with caution. What are some dangerous tourist
Brothers and sisters, I'm just telling you now, when it comes to traveling, you got to know where you're going. You got to know how you're going to get there and how you're going to get back. And you always need to know your surroundings. I mean, it makes no wisdom to not know where you are going to. You know, like, you need to know everything. And one thing that I particularly am not going to do, I'm not trying to feed the alligators, see. That's not what I do. Okay, so when my special guest calls in, that's what we'll talk about. Welcome to all of my first-time listeners, and welcome back to all of my regular listeners. Check this out. You are listening to the Culture Climate, but not only do we have the Culture Climate, we have Coming to the Stage, we have the tour, we have the Laugh Line, we have the search effort, and we have the platform. And brothers and sisters, this is the Sister Speak Show. We have special guest interviews, live performances, in-studio interviews, and live on-location reports. The special guests who will be on the Sister Speak Show are dynamic and impacting the community with their passions. The Sister Speak Show is a talk show that will keep your mind and soul informed, energized, and encouraged. My special guest is calling. Brothers and sisters, calling in live to the Culture Climate is my very special guest, Sister Queen, Stacey Morgan. Let's give her a round of applause. Hey. Hi. And how are you?
I am well. I'm well. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you for being a part of the Culture Climate this afternoon, girl. I have my times all mixed up. I'm used to doing 7 o'clock. So I thank you for calling in at 4 o'clock today and blessing us with your presence. So what's going on with you?
Nothing much. I'm just trying to get through these last 2 weeks before winter break.
I know it. Brothers and sisters, this sister right here is a professional educator, and I told you that she's a traveler as well as a natural hairnista. And if you remember her from the first interview, the first airing of the Sister Speak show, she was on the platform August 6th of this year. And she's back to come on the Culture Climate to share some of her traveling experiences that she recently had, as well as some other things that we're going to get into. So, Stacey, see, before you called in, I played the 10 most dangerous places that you should not travel to in the world. And it was very serious. It was brought to us by Talk O on YouTube. And so they talked about, if you go to Bolivia, watch out. If you go to New Guinea, watch out. They were just talking about all these places because of crime, animals, bugs, just different type of things like that. But that's not going to probably stop you from traveling. So when it comes to you traveling, where's the last place that you visited?
Well, I just came back from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at the beginning of October, so I was there for about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for a few days, and I got to hook up with an old high school friend. Okay, wait, let me not say it like that, because that sounds a little suspect. I got to reconnect with an old high school friend, and I was able to, meet his wife and his cats, and we had dinner. I haven't seen him since we graduated from high school 22 years ago. So it was great to be able to reconnect with an old friend that I've known since 6th grade, actually. And then from Amsterdam, I went over to the UK. That was my second trip to the UK. First trip to Amsterdam. Mm-hmm. And I spent a little over a week in the UK, went up to Wales, and then down to London before coming back to LA.
Just go ahead and floss on us and let us just know what it is to be able to get on a plane and travel, because you just name dropped all kind of cities and countries and continents on us, and we appreciate that. So, last time we were talking when you were on the show, we were, getting to know who Stacey Morgan is as far as education, your natural hair transition and traveling and things like that. So I just want to get a little deeper into this last excursion that you had. With traveling to Amsterdam, what could you advise the listening audience on as far as, what they need to look out for when traveling to Amsterdam, and how their trip to Amsterdam, I like to buy a whole word, not even a vowel. I like to buy a whole word. I like to buy Amsterdam. What can they expect when they go to Amsterdam?
Amsterdam, like I said, it's a beautiful city. And, I felt very safe there. I walked around late at night, and I took public transportation. I would not advise hiring a car.
Okay.
When you go there.
Okay.
Because it's a very bike and walk friendly city. Mm-hmm. Actually, there are more bikes on the road than cars, and so I would suggest to anyone who wants to go to Amsterdam to either walk around the city. Their public transportation system is very easy to navigate. They have trams that they're almost like what we call light rails. So they have different tram systems that run throughout the city. Mm-hmm. They have, like I said, you can rent a bike, you can walk. So it's very easy to navigate without using a car.
Wow.
And again, like I said, it's a very safe city. I haven't had any problems with anything. The only thing I was warned about was just making sure to keep your personal items, close to you, because there are pickpockets. But in terms of like violent crime, I wasn't worried about that. But I think anywhere you go, you just want to make sure you are aware of your surroundings, because there are pickpockets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The people are really nice. I mean, the Dutch are very friendly people. You don't have to learn Dutch. The majority of them speak English, so it's very easy to, ask questions, ask directions. So there were no issues there. The weather was really cold. It was. It actually reminded me of San Francisco in the wintertime.
Wow.
You know how San Francisco is. It's really cold and windy and rainy, and that's how it was over there. So, make sure you check the weather, because, a lot of times traveling from LA, where it's warm most of the year around, I have to make sure that I check the weather wherever I'm going, because I'm so used to not wearing a coat here. And, I could leave LA in 80-degree weather and land somewhere and it's like 50 degrees outside. So, just make sure that regardless of what the weather is like in your your city of origin, make sure you know what the weather is going to be like wherever you go, because you don't want to be caught by surprise.
No, you definitely don't want to be caught by surprise. You know what? Excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you said something, and I was like, hold the joke, Ayana, just hold it until she finishes saying what she has to say. But when you said that there are pickpockets, see, what Amsterdam doesn't know is that you are a pickpocket. Don't nobody want to mess with Stacey. I'm telling you now. Wherever you travel to, I know you good. Ain't nobody gonna mess with Stacey. Stacey is no joke, okay? So you can try to pickpocket, but she will kickpocket. And when she kickpockets, that's going to be the end of your stealing career. You ain't going to never steal again. You will see the light. You don't want to mess with Stacey. She is the friend everybody should have. I'm telling you. That's why she's my sister queen. Anyway, I just had to get that out. And you know what? It's so true, because us as sisters, we are always freezing. It doesn't take long for us to have to try to put on a coat. So what you're sharing right now is really good information, because you need to check the weather. You need to know, the time zone that you're going to be in, because that's, a lot of people get thrown off, from time zones and everything like that.
Definitely. The jet lag is no joke.
Right. And so how long did it take for you to get from LA to Amsterdam?
So it was it wasn't a direct flight to Amsterdam. I actually flew to London. To London, it was a 10.5-hour flight. And then it was actually a really quick hop over to Amsterdam. It was an hour and a half. So it was actually like flying, just to give an American context, it's like flying from LA to the Bay Area. So it was really quick hop from London to Amsterdam. But yeah, flying from LA to London was the longest leg. And I actually, the interesting thing is, as much as I hate flying, this is going to sound weird, I actually don't mind international flights as much, because, because of the free booze.
Oh no, here we go.
No, because a lot of people don't know this, but when you fly internationally, because a lot of times when you fly domestically, let's start there. When you fly domestically, a lot of things you have to pay for, except for soft drinks and water and juice. But you have to pay for cocktails. Nowadays, you have to pay for even snacks, unless you're on Southwest Airlines and, you still get free peanuts and pretzels. But nowadays, you have to pay for snacks and everything. You have to pay for the seats. when you fly internationally, it's a little different. There's more leeway. So they have free cocktails. They give you meals. Usually you'll get 2 meals per flight. You can still pay for snacks if you're hungry in between. But then, depending on the airline, so for example, I went over on British Airways for this trip. But when I went to Europe 3 years ago, I was on Virgin Atlantic. And Virgin Atlantic gives you snacks, like they feed you to death. Like you will never go hungry on a Virgin flight, whether it's Virgin Atlantic, Virgin America, Virgin Australia. They feed you very well. Not so much on British Airways. I was a little hungry. But you know me, I eat.
Yeah, me too. I know.
you know me, I eat.
Yeah.
So depending on the airline, though, some airlines will give you snacks in between meals. Other airlines you have to pay for, but like I said, cocktail is free. They'll a lot of times offer wine with your dinner if you want wine.
Wow.
So it's the seats tend to be larger and a little more leg room.
Yeah.
In some cases, But yeah, I actually don't mind international flights as much. I think because the planes are larger, so I feel a little more. You don't feel the bumps as much. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Something I discovered about myself as much as I hate flying.
Stacey, do you remember the time when we went to Loyola Marymount? And when we were coming home, remember when we got on the plane and the plane dropped like 25 feet? Do you remember that?
Yeah, you know that was my very first flight. I completely forgot about that. When we went to LMU, that was my very first flight.
Nervous when that plane dropped. And if that was your first flight, that is what a way to introduce you to flying. We're gonna make the plane just drop out the sky for 25 feet, and then we're gonna resume flying. Like I was just like, what is this about? Not only did we experience the plane dropping, but then we had an earthquake. Remember?
Yes, because you and Tanya left me outside and locked me out of the dorm. Yes, I remember that.
Now see. I apologize.
So, for those of you who are listening, this was in 1992, June of 92, and I was going to the 10th grade, and Yana was going to the 11th grade, and we went to a forensic institute at Loyola Marymount University. It took 10 of us from our high school, and we spent an entire week learning how to do debate and forensics and everything.
Yep.
And so an earthquake happened in the middle of the night. When we woke up, we walked outside. Another mutual friend of ours, Tanya, we walked outside on our way to breakfast, and we're looking around, and we noticed that the ground is cracked and the light posts are all they got a gangster lean in it. And so we're like, oh man, there was an earthquake. And just as we said that, an aftershock happened. And so we're, on the school grounds and outside, and the earthquake starts again. Ayana and Tanya run back into the dorm and lock me out. And I'm banging and screaming on the door because now I'm the only one outside in the middle of the earthquake, scared to death.
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe you guys left me outside.
I don't remember that, but I will say this. Shame on the old me. I'm so glad that I am not that way anymore. If there is an earthquake that you and I happen to be in at the same time, I will not leave you outside. You will never.
I'm locking you outside this time.
Oh no, you do reap what you sow, brothers and sisters. But not only that, we remember the meal cards. Oh my gosh, they fed us so good. All the cereals in America. See, look, I grew up with William and Avis, and William and Avis only believed in Rice Krispies plain. Okay.
We could not Yep. See, our parents were very similar.
Yep.
There were no Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms, Cocoa Puffs. We had to have the healthy, you know, the Cheerios, the Rice Krispies, the you know, what are the other healthy cereal? We couldn't have any sugar.
Nope.
So we went nuts.
We did. That's probably why we danced so hard. But anyway, moving on. I know, brothers and sisters, y'all like, what is going on here? We are vibing. Okay. So let's get on with this. Okay. So then, you went to the UK, and what was that like?
I love the UK. It's one of my favorite places besides Australia, outside of the U.S. And I'm still not done exploring outside the U.S., of course, but so far, it's one of my favorite places. They have one of my favorite meals, fish and chips. I love fish and chips. When I went 3 years ago with my sister, she got so sick of fish and chips because she's not that big on fish like I am.
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to eat. And she was, you know, getting so annoyed with me. She's like, look, I am sick of fish and chips. We need to eat something else. So needless to say, I ate all the fish and chips I wanted. Was not there. And, yeah, it's so much different than it is in the U.S. because fish and chips in the U.S., they generally will give you, you know, 2 to 3 pieces of fish, and they're smaller, and, you know, just regular French fries. But over there in the UK, it's a whole fillet. And they're huge, and they're battered, and then the fries or the chips, they're not those, you know, regular American skinny type fries. It's what we would call steak fries over here. They're very thick and they're fat, and they're just so good.
Oh, that sounds so delicious.
I never looked at fish and chips the same after the first time I went, and so that's the one thing I look forward to every time I go back. Interestingly enough, the UK, it's kind of hard to find like salads and vegetables over there. You know, over here in restaurants, you know, a lot of times it's very easy to have like all these different salads on the menu. It's not so much like that over there. They're not really big into vegetables like we are. You know, they have like peas, but in terms of like sauteed vegetables or, you know, different salad varieties, it was very hard to find that over there unless you went to a grocery store and bought the stuff and made your own salad. So that was the only thing, and my stomach's very sensitive. I need, you know, a lot of vegetables. And so I noticed that my digestive system was acting up a little bit because I wasn't getting enough vegetables.
Yeah.
But they have really hearty meals over there, like, you know, like I said, the fish and chips. They have the bangers and mash, and the shepherd's pie, which is shepherd's pie is beef, and then on top it's beef and vegetables, and then on top it's mashed potatoes. And it's actually really good. But yeah, they have a lot of savory and hearty meals over there that are good. But
I'm hungry. I'm hungry now. I was over here like, I am salivating. I hope they don't hear my stomach growling. Like, you just kept talking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I need all of that in my life. Brothers and sisters, Stacey and I like to eat. And I know you all like to eat because that's one of the ways that you know, are able to continue to live. But Stacey and I, you know, if there was a meeting with food, we're coming. What are you guys talking about? Oh, you want to build a Lego land? Oh, okay. If you want to build Lego land, that's fine. And we're having round table pizza? Let's talk about building Lego land.
Round table pizza, man.
Round table. And you know what's so crazy? Out here in Texas, there are no pizza spots that I have encountered yet that are absolutely, you know, like Blondie's, like, you know, Fat Slice, like Round Table. They don't have that out here, girl. It is slim pickings out here.
Blondie, remember, speaking of blondies, remember that one time we snuck into a UC Berkeley frat party?
No, I don't. No, we did? No, what are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, with the blondies after. Oh, man, blondie pizza. Oh, I miss blondies.
That was it. And, Stacey is comfortable on the show now, see? And so, do you remember the time you ran away 2 doors down?
Wait, where was it?
At Loyola. You had said, we all had emotional issues, y'all. We were trying to figure it out. Our hormones, puberty, life. We were young brothers and sisters just trying to figure it out, y'all. We were in high school. We were trying to figure it out. And we had strict parents. So to be off the leash for a week, we had a good time. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, nothing sexual, nothing like that. We were good.
We were good girls. We were good girls.
Yeah, we weren't doing nothing like that. We were just hanging out and having crushes and eating food and debating. That's all we were doing. But anyway, so moving on. I want to talk to you about certain things that some of us just don't do or may be afraid to do. And this comes into shark bites. This comes into mountain lion attacks. This comes with very, bungee jumping, accidents, things like that. So what are the chances of getting Stacey to camp in the woods for 3 days?
Well, I grew up camping. You probably don't remember, but I actually grew up camping. My old daycare, center would take us camping every year at Lake Oakwood, at Manteca, near that park near the water slide.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would take us camping every year. And I camped in Yosemite, and I actually went camping for 3 weeks in Minnesota in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
For 3 weeks, but it was in the cabin, so we had, electricity and running water. I've camped so much, I actually hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So my church, they do an annual camping trip every year during the summer.
Uh-huh.
And, I have friends who are avid campers, and they have the RVs and everything, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I did all that, as a kid in my 20s, and
yeah.
Thankfully, I've never run into any. Actually, there was a year when I went to Yosemite, and there were bears in our camp, but we were inside. The rangers told us to stay inside. So, but thankfully, no one was attacked. But that was the only time that there were bears within close proximity. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen a mountain lion. I don't want to see a mountain lion, which is why I'm not a hiker.
Right.
Because I have friends who hike and who try to get me to hike, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
That's right, sister. You stick to your beliefs. Because, see, what you just said to me, you said when you went to Yosemite, the rangers were like, stay inside. There's some things you don't have to tell me, okay?
Right.
Look, you stay inside. I wasn't coming out. I didn't even want to come on this trip, but I'm here. And now you telling me to stay inside. That was the plan before we left, to come here, to stay inside. Like, I don't want no parts of the bear. I'm not fighting a bear. I ain't running from a bear. I have watched enough documentaries and enough National Geographics to know that a bear can win the Olympics, okay? Hello. A bear can chase your life, okay? 35 miles per hour, can smell over 2 miles away. So here you are trying to get away, and 2 miles away, he can smell you. Look, I don't need nobody to give me any Ranger Rick tips. I know what to do. I know what to do. And And like you said, with hiking, us living, you still living in California, but, having lived in California, with Wildcat Canyon, and there are so many mountain lion sightings. There are so many, situations where they have to, tell the entire neighborhood to stay inside because there's a mountain lion that's loose. That's just, for me, I never can understand why people go hiking. Like, paranoia saves my life, okay? Because I'm just telling you, paranoia saves my life. I consider all of what could happen, and that's how I make my wise decision not to go. So you're very wise not to go, because who wants to fight a mountain lion? Who wants to be born into this world and one day assigned to your journey, you got to fight a mountain lion? That ain't cool. That ain't cool.
The other thing I think about is, because I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I like nature walks. Nature walks are nice, but to just go off and hike somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the woods, I hear these stories of hikers who get lost, and they're lost for several days. Some, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to take that risk, and it's just I don't like it enough to do it. Like I said, I have friends who are hikers. I have friends who are campers, and they're constantly encouraging me, come camping with us and come hiking with us, and I'm like, it's just not something that I enjoy. I love nature, but I don't really enjoy being out in the middle of nowhere for several days at a time. And so, again, it's something I grew up doing, and it was fun as a kid, and even as a teenager, and I did some camping during my college days in the White Mountains in Arizona. But as a 40-year-old adult, I'm like, I've kind of overcome my love of camping.
Right. No, I get it. No, I get it. And plus, privacy for me, I like to use the restroom in private. I don't want to be, having to do, what was that? While I'm trying to use the restroom out in the woods. I don't, I've watched, what did it for me, Stacey, was Camp Crystal Lake. And you and I have been to so many different camps. You remember we went to you went to Santa Cruz with us, right? Then we go to Santa Cruz together for tobacco camp, and we went.
I don't remember where it was, but I remember that.
Yeah, we went there. We've been to so many places, and we have been to so many, like Stacey and I have been a part of community organizing for a long time. And, when we went to camp, like for me, it was just like, I've seen Camp Crystal Lake. That was it. Now, a lot of people are like, that was fake. To me, it wasn't. It scared me. I believe it's real. I believe Jason is real. I believe that I may hear some strange noises if I'm off in the woods. And so I just think it's also another thing, like, you have to have a certain set of survival skills to be a camper. You got to know how to start a fire, purify water. You really don't have to really get in touch with the elements. And I just don't think it's for everybody. And, it's not often that you hear brothers and sisters, getting lost in the woods. It's kind of more of not us, you know what I'm saying? Or with the bear attacks or the mountain lion attacks, I watch all these when animal attacks, and there was a white woman who decided that she wanted to have a pet monkey. She decided that she was going to have a monkey. I think the monkey's name was Nelson. And, monkeys have the strength of 6 men. A monkey can slap your face off. Well, guess what? The monkey slapped her friend's face off. Slapped it off. Like, I don't understand why some people choose to, I don't know, it just seems like invite danger in. Like, you know, this is my pet python. What?
Yeah, domesticating animals that should never be domesticated in the first place.
You know, and so it's like, okay, today the monkey said, you know what? I'm tired of this. Let me do what I was born to do, and that is monkey out. And the monkey had it, okay? And the monkey decided to go off, and there was one time these people had a monkey, and they decided to release him back to Monkey Village, where they were looking after these monkeys in an enclosed habitat, which is never good. And so it was the monkey's birthday. And so these people decided that they were going to bring the monkey a birthday cake, okay? The monkey didn't know it was his birthday, but the people did. So they go to Monkey Land, Monkey Camp, or whatever it is, and they sit down at this park bench, and they put the cake on the table, and you know, the people said, just wait, they'll come to you. Well, guess what? Okay. Not only is it this monkey's birthday, but the other monkey said, look, if he gets some cake, we get some cake, and we really don't appreciate the fact that you didn't bring us any cake, so it's about to go down. The monkey slapped the man's face off. Okay? Look. Here's your cake.
Oh, no.
I couldn't believe it. So it's just interesting how, you know, a lot of people are, you know, risk takers, so to speak. You know, I wanted to ask you something about, because I'm doing a show called The Search Effort, where we focus on the brothers and sisters who have gone missing locally, nationally, and internationally. I wanted to get your take on traveling alone, or, you know, tips for traveling alone, or do you even suggest that when going over, you know, traveling internationally?
Well, I've done both.
Wow.
Generally when I do travel, especially internationally, I travel with someone, or if I'm not, or if I'm, you know, flying by myself, it's usually someone on the other end that I know.
Okay.
The only place that I actually traveled to by myself completely was Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had a friend that I knew there, but I didn't connect with him until the night before I left. But before that, I was just completely by myself. The only reason I did that is because I felt safe enough to do so.
Yeah.
If it's another place I would feel safe traveling alone is Australia, you know, because I've been there a couple of times and I kind of know my way around.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? I was in Brisbane by myself.
Wow.
You know, I connected with a friend over there, but other than that, I went up to the Gold Coast by myself. I didn't know anyone. But again, it wasn't my first time in Australia, so I pretty much knew what to expect. I think going somewhere completely new and unknown, I personally wouldn't, just because I don't really know what to expect.
Right.
And but I have girlfriends who have traveled by themselves and do it quite often, mm-hmm. without a problem. Wow. So the only places that I know that you really don't want to go by yourself, especially as a female, are Latin American countries like Brazil, for example. I hear a lot about Brazil and being careful in Brazil just because of the amount of violence and things going on over there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Where else have I been told I shouldn't go by myself? Certain African countries, like South Africa. I've been to South Africa, but I went with a group of people. But I was told not to go completely by myself unless I'm meeting someone over there. Wow. But not to just travel by myself within certain African countries. And that's basically all I know. But yeah, being careful of certain Latin American countries, certainly just because of the violence and the cartels and things like that. Yeah. But that's just kind of ingrained in me anyway, just because, I always have my dad in the back of my head when I go places, because he never liked me to travel alone.
Yeah.
And so I just, and being a Christian, of course, you always pray for God's protection, and you know that God will protect you, but He also expects that you're going to, help yourself and take some precautions and not just go cautious to the wind and say, oh, well, God's got me.
Right. Totally.
Dangerous situations, and
yes.
You always have to be, careful, wherever you're going, especially if it's an area where you're not familiar and you don't really know anyone. And so for that reason, one thing I would advise, this is something I never do, I don't take purses overseas.
Okay.
I always travel with a backpack. And because it's harder to get into a backpack than it is a purse.
Okay.
Backpack, you keep them on your back. A purse, they could just snatch it right off your arm. But even when I have a backpack on, I don't keep all my important documents or money in my backpack.
Okay.
Just in case, somehow someone gets my backpack off of me. So what I do is I have a travel pouch that I wear around my neck, and inside, like my clothing, my coat or pullover or whatever I have on. So I have a pouch that has my money and my credit cards and bank cards and what have you. So I actually keep my money on my person, but hidden away where no one can see it. And then, I have a backpack where, I have whatever travel documents I have, like, hotel reservations or, itineraries, water, little toiletries like lotion, chapstick, stuff like that I keep in my backpack. But I don't carry purses just because I mean, especially places that I travel, I stand out pretty much. I mean, I'm 5'10", I'm dark skinned, and so I know I look different in a lot of places that I travel, especially if I'm over in Asia or, not so much Europe, because there's a lot of black people in Europe, and, of course, South Africa, there's a lot of black people there.
Right.
But, like, if I'm in an Asian country, for example, especially, people know that I'm not from there.
Right.
I'm following everybody in the entire country. So, it's pretty, but, like I said, because of pickpockets and things, and I feel like you're an easy target if people know you're not from there, especially Americans. If people know you're American, there are some people overseas that have this notion that Americans are rich. And so they, you tend to be an easy target. So to not make yourself a target, just make sure that you don't
stand out.
Carry something that can easily be taken off of you. Right.
Because see, what you just said, you said in China, you stand out. I would blend in China. Do you hear me? I'm 5'1". They would be talking about Daniel's son when they see me, because I'm serious. I am 5'1". I know I would blend in. But, you shared a lot of good tips. And like I said, I want my brothers and sisters to be educated about traveling. And, your experiences are something that, you'd be surprised how much information someone can gather from this interview that we're having this evening. And I just want to encourage you all to listen to what she shared. She's telling you how to travel, what works for her. And, just because it works for her, it may not necessarily work for you, but these are pretty basic, wise tips that I feel like in general you can apply to your life. I don't want you all to just up and say, I'm getting ready to go to Dubai, and then we never see you again. Figure out where you're going. One thing I wanted to talk to you about is food, and some people like me, I'm a picky eater, so I just can't eat everything. I have a peanut allergy, so I'm really restricted on some things I can eat. And also just by the looks of some things, I just feel like it doesn't look desirable for my mouth, so I'm not going to eat it. But what are some of the culture shocks you have experienced when it comes to eating internationally?
Uh-oh. Okay, so There was one time my sister and I went to the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, the food in the Philippines is excellent.
Okay.
FYI, you cannot drink the water over there. So if you ever decide to go to the Philippines, you have to buy bottled water to drink, to brush your teeth, to rinse your mouth. Like, you cannot drink the water over there. Just FYI, because you will get sick.
What kind of symptoms? What kind of symptoms from being sick?
Well, thankfully, I did not get sick because I was warned ahead of time.
Yeah.
But basically, like a stomach bug.
Okay.
Like, diarrhea,
Yeah.
upset stomach, nausea, things like that.
Okay.
So, like, probably similar to what people experience because I've been told there are parts of Mexico where you can't drink the water.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's ever experienced that, it's probably a similar thing.
Okay.
But yeah, you cannot drink the water in the Philippines. But the food is excellent. Some of the freshest food that I've eaten. So one time, I ordered this fish soup, and I love fish, and it was a fish stew, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. Well, over here in the U.S., usually when we eat fish, it's filleted. So I get my stew, and I'm at a table, with a group of people, and it was a group of us, traveling internationally, and some Filipino people, and then some Americans, and some Australians, and what have you. And so I'm like, oh, this looks so good, and it smells good, and I'm looking at all the fresh vegetables and cuts of fish, and then suddenly this fish head pops up. This fish head, because I didn't see it initially, but it just slowly popped up, and you can just see this fish eye, and its mouth is open like it's silently screaming. Cue the horror music.
Okay.
I'm freaking out because I didn't know. But in the Philippines, they eat the whole fish. It's a delicacy. They don't just fillet it like we do. They eat the whole thing. So I'm freaking out because there's this fish head in my soup. Yeah, I tried so hard not to cause a scene in the restaurant. It didn't work that well. Still kind of caused a scene.
So what?
I wasn't screaming bloody murder, but it was just like I was hyperventilating and panicking because I was not used to seeing the fish head.
That's normal reaction.
Huh?
That's a normal reaction that you had.
It just caught me by surprise. And so my friend took my soup away from me, and he took my fish head and then gave me my soup back. But
I'm sorry. Oh my God.
But
you got a good friend.
But yeah, that was, I would say, out of everything, that was probably the one thing that was most shocking was the fish head in the soup. Let me think, if there's anything else. Oh, so first time I went over to the UK, so their breakfast is a lot different. And so, here in the U.S., when we hook up breakfast, you talking like eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, maybe some hash browns or some toast or,
yes,
something typical. Over there, it's so different. And so, I'm very used to it now. But the very first time I went over there in 2014, my sister and I ordered breakfast, and I'm thinking, oh, we're about to get some eggs and some hash browns and stuff, and they bring our plates out, and there's baked beans and a tomato and some sauteed mushrooms and some eggs, and I said, "What is this?" I'm like, "Who eats baked beans for breakfast?" And, but that's their
culture.
That's their traditional breakfast. And if you're in Wales, which is the country right next to England, in Wales they have what's called black pudding. Have you ever heard of black pudding?
Yeah, she dances at the Cheetah Club. Go ahead. No, I ain't never heard of black pudding. Go ahead.
Okay. So black pudding is made out of pig's blood. So that was, and I don't eat pork.
Me neither.
So, at the hotel, my sister and I were staying, where we were staying, we asked, do you have any vegetarian options? And thankfully they did. They had this veggie sausage that is really good. But yeah, it was the breakfast was a culture shock for me because again I've never seen baked beans outside of a barbecue.
Okay.
So to know but that's their staple: baked beans, sauteed mushrooms, tomatoes, and then they'll have some kind of sausage and eggs. And generally the sausage is pork. Like I said, in Wales it's the black pudding. But I actually got used to it because I love mushrooms and I like tomatoes, and so when I go over there, I will eat a British breakfast, but it's a little modified. I'm not a fan of the baked beans, but I'll have like eggs and the like a veggie sausage, the mushrooms and a tomato, and maybe some toast and some tea. And it's very filling. It's very good. But, yeah, it took me a minute to get used to.
I'm sure. And, see, when they would, if you don't know, you're like, okay, I like some black pudding with some whipped cream. And they're like, you sure? Yes, I think I'm sure. And then, you ask, like, okay, what is this? Pig's blood. You know what? That's it. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. Like, that's some fear factor type stuff. And you just be amazed at what you can find internationally. Because when I was even walking through downtown San Francisco, if you walk through Chinatown, they have a display of what they eat. And I was walking with my cousin one time, and I kid you not, I almost threw up right there in Chinatown because they had frogs in black sauce. And they were just sitting outside. And I was like, are those frogs? It's just like, it's like a culture shock because it's just like, dang, what is this black sauce? But now I'm wondering if that black sauce was black pudding. If that was frogs in pig's blood. Oh my gosh. And they just had other type of stuff. And my cousin, the odor was really pungent. And I put my hand on my nose, and my cousin's like, take your hand off your nose because you're being disrespectful. This is their custom, their culture. When you do that, that's a sign of being rude. And I was like, look, you didn't tell me that I was going to see, frogs and black sauce. You didn't tell me I was going to encounter all these odors. And so it was just a culture shock. So I can only imagine what you have to see when traveling. Because, like, I watch Bizarre Foods on the Travel Channel, and I don't even watch it, actually. I skim through it, and then when he was like, today we're going to be eating camel ovaries. I don't eat camel ovaries, okay? I don't eat camel ovaries. You cannot saute, you cannot bake, broil, or fry some camel ovaries and tell me that I can eat it with a little bit of string carrots. That ain't going to work for me. I'm telling you now, sis, there's no way. But to each his own pretty much when it comes to, food and things like that. And, I can understand why you don't want to eat those baked beans early in the morning. I know. See, I know. And you know that and I know that you know that I can't eat baked beans early in the morning either. It's just not wise. Oh my gosh, okay, so let's move on. I want to talk to you. Okay, so you made it back safely. How's everything going on the job with the kids? With the children?
Well, the semester is the semester ends in 2 weeks. We go on break after December 15th, and we're off for 3 weeks. So, of course, now there's this scramble to get grades up because the semester is getting ready to end, and that's just common. A lot of students will spend the entire semester not caring about their grades, and then suddenly, right as the semester is getting ready to end, suddenly they want to make up every assignment, every test under the sun. So, the last couple of weeks are always the most stressful, just, working with the kids. And then, too, it's just everyone's tired. The kids are over it, the teachers are over it, everyone's over it.
I know it.
I just think we get worn down, and so, patience is a little thinner than normal, and we're just all ready to just not see each other for 3 weeks.
I know it, Sister Queen. My heart goes out to you because I remember when I was teaching, the first thing I would do is I would get that calendar, and I would look for every day that I have off. I would look for every break that I had, just because you're under so much stress. So I just want to encourage you. I pray that the Most High God and His Son, the Christ, will continue to give you the strength that you need in order to push until your change comes, because, the respect that needs to be given to an educator is the utmost, because you have, like you said, the administrative aspect alone is enough to just drive you nuts, especially when you have the government always putting pressure on the teachers to perform at a level that will get their schools out of the F grade that they're receiving as far as the benchmark is concerned. And I really think it is unfair to put so much pressure on the teachers to perform at a level that the teachers need other ingredients in order to make this cake, as I said before, called education. You need all the help of everybody else. And when it comes to like just the test and things like that, I wonder if some of the quote unquote lawmakers that deal with education and things like that, if they've ever taken the test that they administer to the students, that they want the teachers to teach, that they drill, make you have to drill to your students, almost like your life is on the line and your class is on the line if nobody passes and all of this type of stuff. I just wonder if they have ever taken any of the aptitude tests that they administer to the students. I just feel like, oh my gosh, being a teacher is such an honorable position to hold. And, I'm excited for your 3-week break also. I really am. Stacey said, you said, That is so funny. I wanted to... Oh, yes, I'm quite sure. I wanted to ask you something just to piggyback a little bit. When it comes to romance internationally, how often do you think people from the United States find love overseas?
I actually have quite a few friends, American friends, who are married, who have, husbands or wives from other countries. The most common I see are marriages between Americans and Brits. And I think it's probably more common than we think. And I think because, America is a melting pot, and we have so many cultures over here, and we have other cultures who live over here, and the same thing over in the UK. And so I think it's probably easier to be able to connect with someone between the U.S. and the U.K.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have friends who are married to Brits, and I mean, not that there aren't adjustments. Of course, there are. There are cultural differences, but they make it work.
Wow. So, yeah, that's amazing. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think it's a very uncommon thing, and I don't think it's a really hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
No, that's interesting because I did a segment where there were men coming from America and other countries, and they were going to the Philippines, and they were cheating on their wives, and they were getting in, having sexual relationships with women, impregnating them and leaving. And so I did a segment on the Culture Climate that talked about the fatherless children overseas. And, it's just quite interesting that, there's one dynamic where you go over there, you meet somebody, you fall in love, and it works. And then there's another dynamic where there are people going overseas and they're creating whole new families and, not doing right. A lot of, so I guess it's just all in how you handle, your passport, and what your intentions are. I have never traveled outside of the country. I've only been to... Well, here's the problem. Is that your kitty cat?
Yeah.
Aww. She's famous now, honey. But I remember one time I was 7 years old and my parents had decided that they wanted to travel down to Mexico. And to the part to where you can walk over the bridge. And so I get out the car and I'm terrified because I know that, in my 7-year-old mind, Mexico is a whole nother country. And if I go over there, I can't come back. That's what I had made up in my mind. It didn't matter what my parents had said. I felt like if I went, I couldn't come back to America. And I didn't want to leave America. So this is one of those times where I did the fool. We got right to the entrance of the bridge and I just started crying. Oh, I dug my heels into the concrete and I started crying. And my parents were like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I don't want to go to Mexico because I want to be able to come back. You'll be able to come back? No, I won't. There's nothing that they could tell me at 7 years old. And I'm talking about there was a whole scene right there on that little bridge just trying to get to Mexico. So I don't know how I would be now. I think I've been to Canada, but I've traveled definitely all throughout the United States, but I've never been able to get in a plane and fly 14 hours. The reason why is they'll probably have to land the plane somewhere that they didn't expect. I don't know if I'm able to sit on a plane for 14 hours without having what we all know as a panic attack, okay? You're going to have to give me Dramamine times 2. You're going to literally have to put me in a coma and then wake me up when we land. Because just traveling within the United States, I say several prayers when I get on a plane, okay? If you want to meet a prayer warrior, put me on a plane, okay? I say I've already prayed as it is, but I do some serious prayer. Oh no. She'll call back, brothers and sisters, that happens. But look, I am a prayer warrior. I do some serious praying when I get on a plane. I don't know you. That's okay, girl. We had technical difficulties. That's okay. I was just telling them, look, I don't know you. So when I get on a plane, I don't know what you've done. Oh my gosh. Brothers and sisters, this is just a small break. I am looking outside of the window from where I'm recording, and there is a huge lizard outside. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, that's just a side note. I live in Texas. Ain't no telling what you're going to see. Anyway, so when I get on a plane,
you don't want to go to Australia, then.
I probably don't, and I also don't ever want to get socked in the face by a kangaroo. Is there a site supervisor out here? Could somebody please break this up? Anyway, but like I was saying, when I get on the plane, I don't know you. I don't know what you've done, but I know that collectively we are traveling to a place. So you will find me praying, and my eyes are the size of plates when I'm on a plane. Like, I'm aware, because it's just something different about being in the air. But now look, you said something about Australia. What have you seen when you went to Australia?
So thankfully the second time I went, I I didn't see anything, but the first time I went,
oh no,
I saw a huntsman.
who? Who?
A huntsman spider. It's about as big as your hand. It's huge. Now the thing is, they aren't harmful, like they're harmless, and they're actually more scared of people. They're not aggressive spiders, but they're just really big. And there was one. I rented a house with a couple of girlfriends of mine, and there was one. We had like a beveled, not a beveled, like a colored glass right on the side of our front door. And there was a huge one just plastered right outside our front door. But I've heard stories that they come inside the house. I've heard stories where they come inside the car. And I said, nope, I can't do it. But the other thing is I had a redback in my bedroom that thankfully my friend killed for me. A redback is... well, it's like a black widow, except the red is on the back of the back of the spider instead of the belly. And they're a little larger than black widows, but I think they may even be a little more poisonous than a black widow is. But they have all kinds of poisonous things over there. But I have friends who live over there that say that they'll go years without actually seeing a spider, or, you just spray around the house and keep them out. But, there's a lot of different poisonous spiders over there, and, they have the snakes and what have you. But, me, I'm terrified of those things.
Me
but
too.
I love Australia. I mean, if I could live in another country besides, the UK, I would definitely live in Australia, because Australia, it's almost like living in the U.S., but in reverse.
Wow.
Because everything is backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Backwards. Like, they drive on the left-hand side of the road and everything. But, like Sydney, for example, it's there are parts of Sydney that definitely remind me of the UK. But then the weather reminds me a lot of California. They have California-type weather there. It's sunny, it's dry. And the people are really nice over there. And that's the other thing, like, I was just thinking, there are places where, when I talk to people about their travels, and they say, oh, don't go there because, there's racism there. They don't like black people or this and that. And you know what? I have yet to experience racism overseas.
Wow, that's
I
good.
know it happens. I've heard stories, and I've read stories, and I've heard personal, accounts, but I thankfully have never experienced it overseas. I've been places where people are really nice and they're accommodating, and so thankfully I haven't had those problems.
Right.
And I hope I never have those problems, but I don't know. Maybe it's just God's protection or His blessing.
Yes, totally.
But I thankfully have encountered nothing but nice people when I've been to UK and when I've been to Amsterdam and Australia. They're just very friendly, down to earth people.
That's beautiful. I'm glad. That's definitely a testimony, to be able to travel and not to have to experience those type of things. I thank you for sharing that. Brothers and sisters, you see this sister is well traveled. Now, brothers and sisters, something special is happening this evening. There are 2 shows that are going on this evening. I have another one at 7 p.m. called The Laugh Line, and I want you to tune in for that. But Stacey, before we close out, there's something I want to talk to you about. Your second big chop. Stacey is also a natural hairnista. And so, brothers and sisters, just going to take a couple minutes just to talk about, what inspired you to go for the big chop, and how is the journey going so far?
So, after 4 years of being natural the first time, 4 years after my first big chop, I decided to do a second one. And the reason I did it was because I didn't like the way my hair was growing.
Uh-huh.
When I first did the top, I knew I had to return my hair to its natural state for health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from fibroids,
Okay.
and there has been preliminary research linking the chemicals in hair relaxers to fibroids.
Wow.
And not only that, also my hair it was coming out. It was really thin.
Mm-hmm.
My edges were almost gone, and and I just knew my hair was very unhealthy, and so that's why I decided to go natural the first time.
Yeah.
But being having relaxers for 20 years, I didn't know how to be natural. I haven't been natural since I was a kid, and my mom was, running pressing combs through my hair.
Right.
And so I had no idea how to take care of my hair, and I just think I made so many mistakes along the way because I was learning how to do it during that time.
Yeah.
And so it actually went to a great. It got longer than it was. I think the longest part of my hair came just right above my bra strap.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shortest part of my hair was just hitting the top of my shoulders. But still, I didn't like the way it was growing. And then I made some mistakes. I went to the hair salon, and the stylist, she was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did not realize is that my hair is very sensitive to heat.
Okay.
And while she did a great job on my hair, my hair was beautiful, was sleek and silky and, everything, but my hair didn't quite recover from all the heat that was put on my hair. And so I did suffer some heat damage, and so my curls they just weren't quite the same after that.
Yeah.
And I was just battling dryness with my ends, and there was a little bit of breakage around the crown area. And so I just decided, you know what, let me just cut my losses and start over.
Wow.
And so one night I just got the urge to just cut my hair off. So I actually got up, it was around midnight, and I, had my hair in twist, and I just took the scissors, and I just snipped all my twists off. And then I made an appointment the next morning, and went to a local barber, and he shaped my hair for me, and he edged it up a little bit, just so, I didn't go around looking like buckwheat.
Okay.
And so it's, my hair was literally like maybe half an inch short. So it's been a little over a month now, almost 2 months actually. It's been a month and a half, and my hair is growing really nicely. And I think what's different this time around is, I've had 4 years of basically practicing on my first set of natural hair and learning what my hair liked, what it didn't like, the products that worked well on my hair and what didn't work well. And so I have more confidence this time around that my hair will grow out better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm actually thinking of locking it up.
Wow.
Yeah. I love locks. I think they're gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I have been researching for several months now. It's just, how to start them. I've been researching natural hair salons, that are expert in locking hair and taking care of them, maintaining them, because it's definitely a commitment. And so it would have to be something that I would do and maintain and stay committed to for several years at least. But I am thinking, because I don't want to go back to spending 3-4 hours every week washing, conditioning, detangling, and twisting my hair. It was a 3-4 hour process every Sunday.
I'm sure.
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
To have natural hair. It's gorgeous and I love it. But I had a love-hate relationship with my hair because it's just it does take a lot of work.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I figured with locks, it's low maintenance. I mean, of course, you have to go in and you have to keep them maintained. You have to, keep them moisturized and everything like you would anything, if you had braids or what have you. But it's more of a low-maintenance hairstyle, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. But I would like my hair to grow back at the same time, so I feel like it's a happy medium.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm still considering. I haven't 100% committed, like, yes, I'm going to do this definitely, but I'm leaning more towards yes than no.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you for, wanting healthy hair and for, taking that big step. I know it wasn't easy to do, but sometimes you just get fed up. Sometimes you want something different and you get so sick of something that you begin to move because you're ready for a new direction. So, I totally, excuse me, I need some Robitussin. Sheesh, I'm still trying to get over this weather change, but no, I totally, get it with what you're doing. And, Stacey, I think you should consider modeling. I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but, with the way that things have changed with acceptance and understanding and just the way that beauty has been redefined for a more appropriate level, I really think you should consider, getting off into that, because you have, girl, you're beautiful. You have beautiful facial features, beautiful facial structure. You command a pose, you definitely have the height to do it. And even though, you have a very, I think, an athletic body, I really think you could do it. I think you should really consider that because, with print modeling or even with whatever other type of genres of modeling are out there, you fit what is beautiful today. So, you're welcome. Yeah.
I can't walk a runway though, because I end up falling. I'm clumsy.
Well, but I do know that. I am aware. I have known you for a long time, and you and I both have had adventures in falling down. But the beauty. Oh, Hilltop, me running down my neighborhood, running for the yellow bus down my hill and flying in front of this Asian man who, once I finally landed, he honked the horn at me to get out the middle of the street. Yes, we have been through some serious things, okay? But, but I really think you should consider that because, like I said, in this day and age, with the way beauty has evolved, and, we're not living under that basic look that, people were going for back in the days. No, yeah, I really think you should think about that. I'm quite sure once you get into it, they'll teach you how to walk, honey. They'll teach you how to keep it together, darling. And I don't know any model that hasn't had a flub up when it comes to the runway. Just Google model falling down on runway on YouTube, and you will see some of the most tragic events taking place on the runway. I'm talking about tragic, okay? Like, pick her up off the ground and just carry her. This show is over, okay? Woo, that is so funny. Stacey, do you want to send a shout out to anybody, and then I want you to give everybody your social media information because I want them to be able to get in touch with you for travel tips, for, your natural hair tips, just in case somebody may need the extra push or encouragement to, go for the big chop. If somebody, once again, if they have any special education questions, or just basic general education questions, Stacey is the one to ask. She is highly, brothers and sisters, highly intelligent, very, very good at what she does. So she's an expert, and I'm introducing you to her once again through the Sister Speak show. And I want you to use what she does. I want you to not be afraid of getting to know who she is. You know, you may need her to come speak at an event. Now, Stacey's probably like, shut up, because I don't want to do no public speaking. But I'm just saying, you may want her to come speak at an event. You know, you never know. But I just want you to be able to get to know who this queen is, because she's a professional educator. Okay? Professional. So that's what this is. So go ahead and tell them all of your social media information, and then I want you to give your shout outs.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram, Bellissima Natural, BELLISIMA NATURALE. And then, so yeah, that's my Instagram. That's pretty much the only social media. I don't have Snapchat and all the other. I don't even know half the social media anymore. Twitter, I get too confused, all the social media, so I prefer Instagram.
Me too.
You can definitely find me on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what else? Social media. What else was I supposed to say? Sorry.
You're supposed to tell everybody your shout. Now it's time for your shout outs.
Oh, yeah, my shout out.
Wait, look. This cigarette represents cancer.
Okay, sorry, inside joke. So, shout out. Well, definitely my family.
Yes.
First and foremost, because my family is always supportive of me. My mom, my sister, my brother,
yes.
and my nieces and what have you. And shout out to you, because I'm just amazed with what you have done with the show in such a short time. I mean, you know, I remember when you started this, just what has it been 6 months yet?
We started in August.
In August, okay. So 4 months. In just 4 months, you know, your show has become syndicated. You know, you're growing your listening audience, and I just really appreciate that you use your talents and your platform to, you know, shine a spotlight on other people. And I just think that's amazing, because, you know, we need more people who are willing to use their platform to put other people on, you know, and not just, you know, soak up the spotlight for themselves.
Right.
So I just really appreciate, you know, it's my second time on the show, and I enjoy coming on here every time, and, you know, I'm very thankful for the opportunity, and, you know, of course, I'm thankful for your friendship, but, you know, for those of you out there, Yana and I have been friends for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Since we were in ninth grade.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's
so
amazing.
It's been a long journey for both of us.
Yes. Yes.
And of course, you know, all praise and glory to God. Because,
yes.
You know, without Him, nothing I do would be possible.
Amen.
So, you know, should have said that first, actually, but save the best for last, I guess.
Amen. Hey, I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you, and that's just what it is. And I appreciate you for your kind words. Like I said, the Sister Speak show, without my special guest, it just doesn't work. And I have met some of the dopest people. I mean, this is an amazing journey, and I wanted to do this in high school. I always had a dream of I want to have my own talk show. I like to talk. I always got in trouble for talking, and it's just always it was on every progress report. Ayana talks too much, so I've always been loquacious, y'all. But you know, I appreciate your appreciation, and you know, like I said, you are a family member to me, and the Sister Speak show is your home. You have a very beautiful voice. You're very articulate, and I think you do very well when you come on the radio or on this podcast, so to speak. So, you know, it's dope having you on, and it's dope being able to reconnect with you after all these years, and just be able to be at a place of of peace and love and encouragement and sisterhood. That's what this is about. So, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Shout out to your sister, shout out to your mother, shout out to your family and to your friends and to those who support you all. Thank you, LA, for allowing this Sister Queen to come on the Sister Speak show. So I'm going to send you a copy of the show at the end of the show. And we will definitely reconvene and talk during the week and things like that, because I want to be able to travel and see you in 2018. Hopefully, if it's the Lord's will, I'm gonna rescue you from the children. I'm gonna break in and I'm gonna come get you. I'm gonna come get you from the school. But anyway, I thank you so much, Sister Queen, for being on the Sister Speak show, and I will talk to you later.
Okay. And good luck with your next show, and I hope that all goes well.
Thank you, sister. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, brothers and sisters, let's give it up for Sister Queen Stacey Morgan. I will return after these commercial breaks.
Show this afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. My special guest on the Culture Climate, Stacey Morgan. Then I want you to listen live to the Sister Speak show tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. My special guest on the Laugh Line, Alan Massingberg, the Sister Speak show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. This is Ayana, the host of the Sister Speak show. Next on the Sister Speak show, coming to the stage, the tour, and coming to the stage. Tuesday, December 5th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, El Hakim the Poet. Thursday, December 7th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Reuben Wood. And Tuesday, December 12th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, LB the Poet. The Sister Speak show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. The search effort, local, national, international attention to those who have gone missing in our communities, cold cases in our communities, stories from survivors, special guest interviews. We want you to be on the Sister Speak show. Are you a survivor of a stalking, a kidnapping? Do you have a missing loved one? Contact the Sister Speak show at SGTPGW or at sistergoodthing.com, airing January 2018, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back to the Sister Speak show. I am your host, Ayana, and thank you for listening to the Culture Climate. I thank you for having my special guest, Stacey Morgan, on. Thank you for listening to her travel experience. Thank you for listening to her vent about, school, and excited about, the 3 weeks that she has coming up. And, thank you for listening to her natural hair journey. That's what it's about, brothers and sisters. It's about making the known known. The Sister Speak show is a cultural renaissance platform that will keep your mind and soul informed, energized, and, the Sister Speak show is a talk show that will keep your mind and soul informed, energized, and encouraged. A cultural renaissance platform that influences a climate that is conducive to who you are and who you should be. No reckless entertainment. Just responsible listening, nourishment. We do not go dumb. We go wisdom. That's what it's about, brothers and sisters. It's about making the known known on the Sister Speak show. So remember, there are several segments that are on the Sister Speak show. The platform, coming to the stage, the culture climate, the laugh line, the tour, and the search effort. If you are interested in being a guest, a special guest on the Sister Speak show, please contact me at sistergoodthing.com, or you can contact me at SGTPGW through Instagram. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to collaborate with you if what you do is conducive to what we do. We don't take any mess, but we'd love to talk to you. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you press through. I hope you are encouraged. I hope you do not give up. I hope you do not go crazy trying to spend money on gifts and things like that. I'm telling you, a lot of you all would do a lot better if you would just reset and unlearn some things that you have been taught generationally. But y'all don't want to hear that. But I'm just keeping it 100 with you. So anyway, brothers and sisters, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, my special guest on the Laugh Line will be Alan Massingberg. That's right, Alan Massingberg. Check him out on Instagram. You can see all of his Instagram videos. This brother is funny. Now, guess what? He also has another show this evening, so we won't be able to have him for a long time, but we'll have him just for enough time for you to get to know who he is so he can then come back on the Sister Speak show, because that's what we do. Now, don't forget, brothers and sisters, to tune in the rest of the week, because the lineup is fire. Coming to the stage, the tour, and then coming to the stage again. We keep it moving on the Sister Speak show. Brothers and sisters, I want you to have a wonderful evening. I want you to hug your loved one. I want you to hug your wife, hug your children, hug your husband, kiss your wife, kiss your children, kiss your husband. I want you to lock the doors, check the windows. I know it's a little early, but still, you just got to, because you don't want anybody creeping in. I want you to drink some water before you go to bed and when you wake up, and then I want you to pray without ceasing. Why do I want you to pray without ceasing? Because prayer changes things. No prayer, no power. Little prayer, little power. Much prayer, much power. It really, really works. And you don't want to pray when things are going good. You want to pray all the time. Good, bad, no matter what. You need to be in constant communication. Some of you right now cannot sleep because your prayer life is off. I'm just giving you some tips. Now, some of y'all can't sleep because you keep eating before you go to bed. You got bad gas. That's a whole nother thing, but I ain't the one that has to go ahead and decipher which one it is. I'm just telling you, your prayer life is essential to you functioning, to you breathing, to you moving, to you grooving. You know, you need to be in constant communication with the one who created you, the Heavenly Father and His Son, the Christ. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I thank you for listening. And on that note, this is Ayana of the Sister Speak Show. And until tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will talk to you later. Take care.